Gay Pogue here. Today I'm going to teach you the Tangle doll pin, deconstructed by Jutta Gladnigg. A doll pin is an old-timey clothespin. We're creating a starburst design on a black Zentangle tile. I use colored pencils to create that pop that brings the colors right off the page. Light shines in the darkness. Now let's get going. Let us take our Zentangle tile in black and put a string on it. Our string will be very simple, an orb. If it's right in the center, it's nice. If it's off to one side just a bit, it's liable to be more interesting. At least I think so. Then we take our jelly roll. I'm using a number 8, a jelly roll white pin, and create some small orbs inside the circle we draw, going right over the line that we used as our string. Take your time. These lines don't have to be perfect. In fact, toward the end, we're going to cover them up. I put 6 or 7 orbs in the center. They'll determine how many doll pins I send out into the night. Now, we are going to make a somewhat curved line going right down to the small orb and bring it back up in an uneven fashion, and then connect the sides with alternating curved lines. I often draw the first line from the shortest side, but I've also done it drawing it from the longest side. Either way is fine. Sometimes it's fun just to vary things, shake it up a little bit. I'm leaving space between those little doll pins because we're going to come back later and fill in that space with even more doll pins. Be sure to turn your tile as you go so that the arcs of the dowel pin maintain a consistency. Now I'm going behind and drawing more dowel pins and extending the points out a little further than the first set of points to create that starburst. And there we have it, our pattern that we will begin to color in just a second. Looking here at this photograph of the pencils I use, you will note that there are turquoise, green, and yellow in the top. I'll use those on the outer ring of the doll pins. And toward the bottom we have a slightly muted yellow, kind of a gold, a red, and a purple. So you can use any colors you like, but I think it works best if you choose a light, medium, and dark to shade the doll pins, and then just play with it. Just see what you think. I've done several of these and I've never been totally pleased with any of them, but pretty pleased with all of them. So just try it out. It's a lot of fun. This is a photograph of the finished tile, and you will notice that all the parts of the doll pin that touch that inner orb, I've used the red, the purple, and the yellow. And then the outer portions that reach out into the night, I use the turquoise and blue and yellow. I start by using the medium tone of the 3 first, and I put the color down and I press down a bit to work it into the paper. Not too hard, it'll damage the paper, but enough so that the color looks rich. I'm using the polychromos pencils because they have a rich, they're very saturated with pigment. The less expensive colored pencils don't have as much pigment in them, and so it's harder to cover the black very well. They're also very nice to work with, and they blend very well. You don't need a huge set. I have one, but I kind of go nuts with collecting art supplies. But a set of 24 or 36 is plenty for whatever your needs are, because you'll be blending the colors together anyway. You notice I'm putting that in the middle portion of all those kind of bottom pieces. Keep your drawing hand, coloring hand planted, and turn the tile with the non-dominant hand, and it's quite comfortable. Now I'm taking the yellow pencil and I'm coloring in the bottom part and blending that yellow into the red so that it has a smooth transition. Where you're going over the color I put down first, you might want to press just a bit harder to get it to blend well and kind of burnish that color. Instead of going dark to light, I'm going from light to dark because it seemed to make sense to me that if we're closer to the source of the light, assuming that would be the center, then the colors will be brighter and lighter. And then as you move out, they will shift. That's one of the beauties of working with colored pencils. You can blend and burnish and make some lovely gradations. Now I'm using that purple or violet. They call it crimson. So we've finished the first band. Now we begin coloring the outer portion of each of the doll pins. And I use that mid-tone green, they call it May green, to color the center sections of those pointy extensions. For some reason, I just like starting in the middle. I think it helps me keep things even. I can space the top and the bottom out better. Now I work with the inner yellow. I use the cadmium yellow. And blend it into the green. Now I take the turquoise and color the tips, the final part of our coloring, except for that center part. Now we go for the inner part, the inner circle. I chose cadmium yellow to shade in those little orbs. On reflection now, I'm thinking the turquoise might have been pretty, or perhaps even the violet. So do what you will. Now taking your white charcoal pencil, gently shade in the areas around the orbs in the center, and be gentle about it. Don't press down too hard. Use the side of your point. And then go out and gently shade around the points of the starburst. Then, using your tortillon, gently massage the white charcoal into the paper and feather it out. I'm using here a green metallic pen, and I'm going to now draw over all of the lines that I originally put down in the white jelly roll. It may be hard to see on this video. Metallic is difficult to work with because it reflects light, and we think of that reflected light as being something very bright and easy to see, which it is if, in fact, the light is hitting it just right. If it's not, then that metallic is just a dull color on the paper. So, we carefully cover all the white lines, and it's a relaxing amount of Zen flow. You know exactly what you have to do, and you just do it. By picking up the Zentangle, you can look at it with light falling on it in different directions and see how it changes with the light. It's really kind of interesting. And now it is time to put our chop on our work. Let it dry a second and flip it over and sign and date the back. And there is our lovely Zentangle art. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.